Okay, folks, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ship.
Good stuff.
Right.
Tracer, I think your microphone is playing games with you, unfortunately. How are you all doing?
Good. It's an exciting day.
It's a very exciting day. Very exciting day. How are you doing, Daniel?
Doing all right. Yes, also very excited. Glad to see all of our collective work come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 years of hard work. 2 years of hard work and determination finally on our doorstep. It's been a long time coming for a lot of the community. And we finally have our penguin back. So
Yeah,
hear you now, Tracer.
You're on, Tracer. We can hear you.
the check worked.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't do anything, but welcome everybody to COTI V2. Wow, that's fun, eh? This is how it always goes. I actually blamed you for having technical problems like it usually is, but I guess it was me this time. Everything was right on my end. Welcome everybody. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
All right. Yes, going very well. Very happy to be here. I'm very happy for this day to have finally arrived.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get right into it with a message from the CEO. See you guys in a minute.
And just like that, it's official. COTI V2 Mainnet is now live. We are ready to deliver scalable privacy on demand for real-world Web3 adoption and unlock trillions of dollars in assets in the process. Congratulations to my team for 2 years of hard work and to all of you, our community, our loyal supporters who've been with us throughout the years. This is a huge deal, not just for COTI, but for Web3 privacy. It's not just about the individual use cases like confidential DeFi, payments, real-world assets, AI, and so forth. It's more fundamental than that. It's about handing people their right to privacy while unlocking Web3 full potential. It is as big as that. You know, I speak with a lot of leaders in the space, and there's a deep understanding that privacy on a public blockchain is inevitable. It's so clear that without it, we won't have on-chain businesses and our information will not be kept secret. This is why it's inevitable, and this is why we are inevitable. With the release of our powerful mainnet, we are all in the right place at the right time to capture all of this potential. Over the coming weeks, expect to see the COTI network come alive with transactions volume, dApps deploying, and builders starting to create the next generation of confidential Web3 experiences. Rome wasn't built in a day, and today is just the beginning. This is what you can see right now. The bridge is live. The Explorer is live, and you can take a look at the network. We've also got an airdrop in progress to support the new network from day one, so you can join it right now. What we've launched today is infrastructure. What's coming next is the application layer. So you can expect utility and momentum to continue to grow as of today. We have over 40 integrations in process, which includes Bancor, Band, MyEther Wallet, PriveX, just to name a few. We have a new V2 treasury coming in the coming weeks. We have node licenses that will be available soon, and improved access to the COTI V2 token, and discussions with third party already underway, and I do mean exchanges. Thank you for taking part in this journey with us. You are the lifeblood of COTI, and we look forward to having you with us in this next exciting era of COTI. Stay COTI.
All right, guys. So Shahaf is going to join us just in a minute, but I'm going to move to Daniel. Tell us what's going on at COTI.
Yeah, so I think that from what you've seen, Shahaf share with us, the main pieces of infrastructure are now live. So that means all the pieces for the network, such as the garblers and the verifiers, and the full nodes are up and running. So we are now seeing transactions come through in real time through the network. That's kind of on our end, and all of the accompanying and orthogonal tools that were launched, such as the new Explorer that you've seen Shahaf share with us, has now been upgraded to Block Scout, which we're really excited about. The COTI bridge has now been, completely upgraded, and now we are able to bridge assets from, Ethereum into COTI v2. So let's say if I have an ERC20 on Ethereum and I want to get started using the COTI network, I can now use the bridge to do that. So that's really, really great. Of course, all of the network information has been updated in our documentation. So if you head to docs.coti.io, you'll see all the mainnet information has now been added to the network section, as well as a couple of guides on, how to add the network to MetaMask, how to bridge, how to swap funds. Let's say if you still have funds in your Viper wallet, we'll have a new guide that'll walk you through that. So that's all the stuff that's happening on our end. And then we're in coordination with our partners who are also basically launching all of their stuff today. So, folks like Dexes, folks like the other protocols that are building on COTI are also going live today. So right now we are focused on monitoring the network, listening to the feedback from the community, from developers, and really bridging any gaps that we see there. And of course, we continue building to make sure that everyone has a smooth experience.
Awesome. So Joshua, while we wait live for Shahaf to join, I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, thanks. No, it's been an exciting day. In the background, we've been talking to all the partners who are in their various stages of launching. As Daniel mentioned, we will have partners launching throughout this week and on the coming weeks, as now they have all of these new shiny infrastructure tools available to them, as Shahab mentioned. So, everything from gaming to Dexes to PriveX, we will hear earlier, and Oracle. So. It's one thing, I think, to talk for it's been almost 12 months, I guess, since I've been at COTI. And so talk for 12 months about the things that are coming, and then it's here. So, a very exciting moment.
Awesome. So while we wait for Shahaf to join, I'm going to pass it off actually to Cody's ship, and I am going to bring up Moshe from PriveX. Welcome to the stream, Moshe.
Hi, everyone. Very glad to be here.
Hey, Moshe, good to have you, and thank you for joining us. It's a big day for us, and I think you're one of our long-standing partners that we're really excited to have on and hear a bit more about.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here as well. It feels like I came to your wedding today.
That's basically it, right? We had the balloons in the celebration, so why not?
Yeah.
So it's great to have you here. I think we're going to kick off by doing a little bit of an introduction to PriveX. I think most of our community are kind of well aware of you guys, but for those that aren't, could you give us a quick preview of who PriveX are and what you're all about?
Yeah, of course. So PriveX is an intent-based perp DEX, which is a complicated word for perpetual DEX, which has the liquidity of centralized exchange. It's basically the intent-based mechanism is using what we believe to be the future of DeFi, where you bridge liquidity from centralized exchanges into decentralized DEX, and then you are very efficient in terms of the price, speed, but most important in terms of the liquidity, which is a very big pain point for DeFi users. So we have been building the perp DEX side, but definitely the edge for us is to bring the centralized exchange experience into the DeFi world. And we could not really do that without the privacy features, right? Because many users, like most of traders today, they still prefer trading on centralized exchanges. This is their first choice. Like in very rare cases, you see higher volumes on decentralized exchanges. And this is thanks to the experience you have on centralized exchanges, right? You don't want anyone to see all your trades, or you do want them to see your trades, but only after a certain amount of time. And we thought that DeFi is such a great thing because you can connect with your wallet, you have a lot of advantages, but still people are not using it enough. And thanks to the fact that we have implemented the intent-based mechanism together with the privacy features on COTI 2, we have actually built the experience of centralized exchange in DeFi. So this is one important part of the PriveX platform. But PriveX doesn't end there. It's an ecosystem of trading AI agents and humans that are trading alongside. The other part of PriveX is actually a launchpad for trading AI agents, where anyone can connect and create their dream trader. And you can be as advanced as you want, right? You can just enter a prompt with the simple strategies that you think are a good fit, or you can add, be a more advanced user and add more specific strategies, trading books, Python codes, whatever you want. But the end result is that you get a trading AI agent, which is so different than the agents that we see today, which are copy pasta of, LLMs, ChatGPT on Twitter. In this particular case, you are creating a trading AI agent that manage positions and at some point become a vault where other people can deposit in their vault, and there is a profit share mechanism. So this is the ecosystem that we're building on PriveX.
That's absolutely awesome. I mean, as a terrible trader myself, who has frequently been burned by setting my slippage too high, or desperately in need of an agent that can do it for me, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, fascinating to see you guys at the work you're doing on Base, and look forward to having it in COTI as well. Just out of interest, and as we're all about privacy and it's COTI Mainnet Day today, what is it about COTI's privacy solutions that made you go with COTI versus kind of existing solutions?
Yeah, I mean, COTI, for the specific method that we are using, which is intent-based, the performance is by far the most important thing that we have to address, because the way that the DEX is actually working is that the counterparty of the trades are a network of solvers. Solvers are another word for market makers, that they connect the liquidity of centralized exchanges into the decentralized world. And those solvers, the network of solvers, are actually in some sort of a bidding process where they all compete on the best price for the user. This is how users are getting the best price and the deep liquidity of the centralized exchanges. And in this specific mechanism, performance is the highest priority feature. And we have been testing and exploring many different solutions, and COTI just brought us exactly what we need in terms of performance, in terms of the infrastructure and everything. So it was the natural and easiest choice for us to deploy that on COTI.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I think the tagline of garbled circuits being 1.8 to 3,000 times faster than some of the traditional privacy tools kind of speaks volume there. So for you, it's all around performance, scalability, and kind of optimizing the route to transaction fulfillment.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, fantastic. I see. I don't know. I'm not going to put you on the spot here. I know you mentioned earlier you might want to do a quick screen share. Is that something you still want to do, or?
Yeah. I can do that. Excuse me if it takes a bit longer. I'm trying.
So maybe while Moshe is doing that, hello everybody.
Hey, Shaf.
It's great to be here. I would just add something about PriveX, as we were both at a crypto event yesterday together, and he explained what PriveX is doing to someone, then left, and then there was a guy from a hedge fund sitting next to us, and he said, "Oh." So we said, okay, so we need to deploy a lot of funds, and we like to be in self-custody, obviously. So we have a lot of delta neutral strategy. Like, in fact, he said that he believes that for most hedge funds, like a third of their asset under management is usually deployed in delta neutral strategies. But he said that the issue is that once they deploy it on a DEX, everybody sees their strategies. He said, and this is a very limiting factor. So we can't really deploy all that we want to deploy, because then people see what we do. And he said, so are you guys really like building a DEX with privacy so I can deploy whatever I want? How? I said, yeah. He said, this is amazing. Like, this is mind blowing. So
There's a lot of things in PriveX. I think PriveX will be probably one of the leading dApps, one of the leading use cases on top of COTI, because DeFi, because privacy, because agents. So we're very excited about what the team is building.
Yeah, I don't know if I can piggyback off of that quick, Shahab, before you dive in, Moshe, but with what Shahab just said, we also had a conversation last week where basically it was the same thing, people wanting to put trading strategy on chain. But because of our data privacy framework, something that's like really amazing that you can do is some people will have to report that strategy at the end of a quarter. So you could dial in like a regulatory authority or like a third-party API that could then at the end of that quarter push a button and do all of your reporting as well. So it's like just another layer on top of that, those kind of like killer features that only COTI can do.
Yeah. So Moshe, we have your screen up now, so take it away.
Yeah. So just to add a small thing to what Shahab mentioned, I think that when we talk about institutional adoption to DeFi in general, then definitely privacy is the top priority for them. They have their strategies; they want to keep it confidential, and definitely there is no existing solution for that. And we see that alongside with deep liquidity, we think that this is definitely the right solution for wider adoption. And then also for the users, this is part of some of the features we can only introduce using COTI, because when a user open a position on any DEX, then anyone can see his position, right? And they can see their stop loss, they can see their take profits, they can see everything. And the fact that they are seeing everything, like everyone sees everything, then you're exposed to manipulation, right? So those are the kind of things that you will be able as a user to choose whether you want to expose or not. As you can see, the DEX is live on Base. The privacy features are yet introduced here because we are launching in the coming days. We will be launching everything on COTI. In the next few days, you will be able to go on the DEX on COTI and trade any size you would have traded on Binance, right? This is how deep the liquidity is on PriveX, and you will be able to do it on COTI in the next couple of days. So this is pretty amazing, right? You don't have to possess big liquidity on one place, be very inefficient, make it very expensive to everyone. This is how already has been solved with what we have built. Here you can see the DEX, the perp DEX. You can choose from 700 pairs here that you have on Binance. So you can trade anything you can think of. The USDT is the best pair. Just choose the amount, the position size. You can you can trade with high leverage. I know everyone likes leverage, so you can choose with high leverage. Set your take profit, take stop losses, and just launch your position, and you will see it here. Other than the trading, which is very simple, straightforward, we have introduced a points system, so all the COTI traders will be able to trade, gain points for volume, compete with others on the leaderboard. We are basically every week there is a distribution of points according to volume. So the more volume you're making, the more points you're gaining. Those points will be accumulated as we progress, and eventually will translate into a future airdrop of the PriveX token. We're planning a fair launch. We have taken examples from very successful projects. We're planning to do so with PriveX. So this is definitely an amazing time to participate. You've probably you heard the stories of people getting rich from Hyperliquid and other projects. You were too late, or in the middle of that, and you had other people competing better than you. This is the chance to participate in something that will be big, gain your points, gain the traction you want, and trade.
Wow, it's incredible. Awesome. And the UX also looks absolutely fantastic, just to put that up there too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we move on to Shahaf, Moshe, is there anything you wanted to add before we kick off?
No, I'm really excited about the mainnet launch. For us, it's also a big thing because we are very much looking forward to introduce all the privacy features to bring that to the world. There is so much demand for a centralized exchange experience in DeFi. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much for being here, Moshe. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope we get to do another one of these just about PriveX, because you've got a lot to talk about there, and I'm really excited about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moshe. For anybody who's just tuning in, we are here for the V2 Mainnet celebration live with team members and partners, Bancor, Band, Crafter, PriveX, Big Money, Codex, and COTI Agents are all here. But right now, I'm going to hand it over to the big man himself. Welcome, Shahaf. Thank you for being here. We watched your video already. It's great to see you.
Great. I'm probably the smallest man in this conversation. Great. No, it's amazing to be here at this moment. We've been working quite relentlessly on this. But this, and I explained it to the team. Oh, wait, make room for the airdrop. Nobody will listen now. Yeah. So again, yesterday I was there was this really major event here, and I was speaking to a lot of other founders, some VCs, etc., and explaining about like what we do right now and privacy. And I haven't really heard anyone say something like, "Nah, you know what? Privacy nobody needs it. It's not important. It's a feature." Like everybody understands that no matter how you turn it, how you twist it, eventually we will need privacy on a public blockchain, because everybody understands. Yeah, of course, we need to be able to protect secrets, commercial data. Preaching to the choir, sorry, at this point. So everybody have the same idea about how it ends. And now people are different in how they understand the way to get there. So obviously not everybody is knowledgeable. I think 2 years ago, I wasn't knowledgeable about, the state of cryptography and everything. And I heard things like, yeah, but privacy is like, it's illegal. And then you explain that privacy is essentially the law, right? Money laundering and funding terrorism is illegal, but selective disclosure and keeping your information private is protected by law. So once they get it, oh, you can do that. You go, yeah, we're not another Monero. We do something different. And then, oh, that's amazing. But isn't privacy very expensive and slow? Like I hear the tech is not there, and you're like, that is absolutely correct until 2 years ago. But things have evolved, right? Networks used to be slow as well, and we solved it. So with gobble circuits, and again, this was like an idea about 2 years ago, but the mainnet is here. We're clocking TPS, right? Daniel, I mentioned it. It's real. It is fast and it's inexpensive, and it works, right? So then the last piece, when people get that and like, oh, really? So the last piece is, okay, so what do I do with privacy? And then I think it's just a wrong question, because what don't you do with privacy? Like, why wouldn't you want to have privacy as a feature to everything that you do? And people get it. And then I think the last interesting piece is, what are the things that are not just better with privacy, but are impossible with the lack of privacy, right? And the examples are always around games, because that's the easiest thing to explain, right? Chess is a game where all the information is out there, but with most card games, you need privacy just for the game to happen, right? So people hear that, they get that, and then I think, for me, this is one of the most exciting things is, what are the products that are not just better with privacy, but are not available today and will be available with privacy? And that's the most interesting thing, I think. So once you see that, you cannot unsee that. And once you realize that the space will have privacy and it's not so easy to build, and even if you build it, there's so many considerations or optimizations that we've been working on, the last 2 years, then you realize that, I think we're sitting on something huge, bigger than anything that we ever had, right? We are the strongest tech in something that is inevitable. And it means that from this point onwards, it's just on us, right? And especially on Joshua, to make sure that the right builders will work with us, and we do have a plan for that. And I said that in the past. Other than just making sure that the right banks, central banks, governments, and these are the things that we're working on right now. But other than that, the grassroots approach that is always more exciting is something that Joshua has been working on. Whenever I want to talk about this more, Joshua asks me not to, because he will unveil it at the proper time, and the time is soon. Otherwise, I would have unveiled it by now. But I think the approach to how we will find, the builders with a cohort of 100 million potential builders, and not the usual 30,000 people that everybody chase, is very exciting. So the right tech, the right time, the right use case, and I think the right approach to building the ecosystem is what excites me these days. It has been a long few days. We have 2 more days with the local events here happening. But yeah, chapter 1 is done, and I'm looking forward for the next 10 chapters.
So Shahaf, we have Mark from Bancor coming up next,
Hey,
but
Mark.
I'm going to share the slide with you if you're ready. Are we ready?
I don't know. Am I ready? Oh, the airdrop.
I think you're ready. I think you're ready.
I wonder if it. I never claim airdrops. Like I never trade. I'm like the worst degen ever.
You want to tell us? You want to
I
tell us
we
what
were
is
a bit rude to
what is
Mark.
this all about?
We brought Mark up right during the airdrop. He didn't get a chance. Sorry, Mark.
Well, he's got time. He's got time. I haven't introduced him yet. He's got time. Can you tell
Mark,
us a
the
little bit
inventor.
about this? Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about this, Shahaf?
Sorry, about what? About the airdrop?
About where this QR code brings you and how it works, please.
Yeah. So first of all, it's symbolic more than anything. We wanted maximum people to have V2 tokens right away. So 2 ways to get, 3 ways maybe to get V2 tokens for free. One is, yes, you scan this, you will go to Treasury COTI.io, where you can just press claim. You add your MetaMask address. It will add COTI Mainnet to MetaMask, and then you get your first 100 V2 tokens absolutely for free. Okay, so that's one way to get tokens. So, and I think we're giving this to 15,000 addresses or something like that. Okay, so go ahead and get it before it's done, and don't try to game the system. We thought about this, and we have systems against your system. So be nice, take your 100 COTI and move on, and let the next person take his COTI. Okay, so that's one way. The other way is, if you already have a COTI ERC20 address, then we will send you COTI to that address. Okay, I think it's about 10 COTI to sponsor your first shift to COTI V2, the first swap. And we talked about this, and we are planning to be a lot more inclusive than what we were. For various reasons, we couldn't, but with how the infrastructure is far more decentralized now, we can. So ERC20 holders, some geos weren't part of the ecosystem, other than being a holder in an exchange, but they will be, right? So it will take some time, but everybody will participate. Lastly, there will be, I guess, in this show or other ways to get COTI V2 tokens other than just swapping yourself. So I think I covered it.
Yeah, that's great. And the marketing team actually just told me that I was going to be able to break some news to you, but I've just been told, and it's great to have Mark here for this, that Carbon DeFi is live on V2 officially. So that's really cool.
That's nice. Okay. Well done,
So
Mark. Thank you.
Great news.
Very welcome.
Yeah. So with that, I'll say welcome, Mark Richardson from Bancor. How is it going, sir?
Well, I'm very excited. Congratulations to everyone from the COTI team for getting the first compelling confidential network up and running. I'm really excited to be here and speaking with all of you for the launch.
Yeah. So tell us why you chose COTI as your privacy solution for your project.
Yeah, certainly. So I'll reiterate some of the points that I've raised previously on COTI community calls and other places. But I don't think confidentiality is necessarily like a novel concept in blockchains, right? As we've heard from some of the other speakers, Asaf himself, things like Monero and Zcash have all sort of dabbled in this idea of confidentiality previously, but it's in I think a very ham-fisted way. Like there's nothing really compelling about how the approach to privacy and confidentiality is being taken there. One of the big issues as well is you may see things in like the fully homomorphic encryption narrative that's arising, and there are various layer 3s and things that are designed to use that kind of technology, is that the applications for fully homomorphic systems is relatively narrow. And what I found extremely compelling about COTI is that, it was actually from the COTI white paper that I even learned about, garbled circuits for the first time. And there is there's an aspect to that, like the actual approach technically to garbled circuits, that I think is profound, that a lot of the other privacy technologies just do not exhibit. And that is that the computation can be confidential, but that if you wish, the outcome can be made public. And the flexibility that you get out of that kind of implementation allows for products to be built that are just not just infeasible, but impossible in some of these other, competing paradigms. So I do think that COTI's approach is the most compelling by far, and I'm really excited to see and even be part of the developer community there that's learning to use garbled circuits to produce things that aren't possible on other blockchains.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Joshua, I know you have a great relationship with most of our partners. I'm going to let you talk to Mark for a minute and maybe celebrate that Carbon DeFi is live on V2. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I have to say I was cheering in the background. I didn't want to leak the news, but I saw it pop up in Telegram. So just massive thanks to you and your team, Mark. A shout out to Jen, who I know has been also doing a lot of work in the background. But yeah, one of the things that I think you mentioned on a previous call that I absolutely loved was you said whenever you're having a down day, you go, read the white paper. And I'm curious from from someone who has gone from reading the white paper to deploying on testnet and going through several deployments on testnet with us, and now deploying on mainnet. What was the experience like? How responsive was COTI's team, and what would be your recommendation for other teams who are thinking about spinning up on COTI and building their dApps? How would you tell them to get started, and any lessons that you had from your approach?
Yeah, the experience has been phenomenally good. The COTI team and developers are skilled, polite, responsive, everything that you would hope for in a burgeoning blockchain. And I think it's important to recognize that you kind of need this. People think that just because a chain is EVM, that it's like, oh, I'll just copy paste my code from whatever chain I'm currently deployed on. But every chain has their nuances, and then all of the supporting infrastructure, especially on a brand new chain at launch, can mean that you need someone to make introductions to RPC providers and so on. And so to actually have a dedicated Telegram group where we can raise issues that we're having, or potential incompatibilities or flawed assumptions in the way that things are being deployed and tested, to have someone there that's understands the question, for one, which is something you don't always get when you're deploying on a new chain. And then secondly, if they don't know the answer right away, are able to produce one in a relatively short period of time. And that really speaks to the technical acumen at COTI, and that's unsurprising given the relative academic complexity of garbled circuits. But yeah, so far the quality of the collaboration has been second to none.
And Bancor is one of the true OG. Oh, go ahead, Shaf.
No, I just wanted to say that I'm going to the next event. Mark, thank you, and thank you guys are the first, so nothing beats being first. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll pop up later.
Thank you, Shahaf, for being here. It was great to see you. Great video. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Joshua, you have the mic, buddy.
No, I was gonna say, Bancor is one of the true, DeFi OGs in all of crypto. And can you tell me a bit, we have a lot of people in the COTI community who are token holders, but they've been COTI token holders since, COTI was an enterprise payments play. And so some of them may have never even, dabbled in DeFi before. So can you talk a little bit about Bancor's evolution, and then also, what COTI community members should look forward to when they go and start, using your DApp?
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, it's been a long process, right? Bancor is a very, very old project now. It was sort of in the first 5 deployments on Ethereum mainnet, so going back a long time now. It introduced something called the constant product automated market maker. This is the brainchild of Bancor founder Eyal Herzog, and the inspiration from that comes from Eyal's background in actually consumer applications like MetaCafe, which was an early competitor to YouTube. And YouTube eventually won that battle for supremacy. And the diagnosis there was that whereas MetaCafe would prioritize content that was already trending, YouTube would allow people to explore what Eyal referred to as the long tail of consumer materials. And after being introduced to Bitcoin, then realized that Bitcoin is a kind of user-generated currency or community-generated currency, and that he expects there's going to be a long tail of tokens as well, which I think is just phenomenal foreshadowing of things like the meme coin community, like the meme coin phenomenon, and things that we've seen arise in cryptocurrency since then. But then also things like every project in layer 2 having its own token and so forth. And so what he wanted to do was to create a way for these things to learn their value that doesn't concede any of the like self-custody options and things that people come to cryptocurrency for in the first place. So yeah, the idea was to replace centralized order book infrastructure with algorithmic market making products. And so Bancor V1 was the first version of that. Then there was an amplified version of that, which we now know is concentrated liquidity, which was released in 2020. And then in 2022, we introduced the idea of asymmetric liquidity protocols. And that's what I'll be demonstrating for you guys here today. This is the flagship product. It has all of the features of an AMM, but then all of the features of an order book-like protocol as well. So if you don't mind, maybe we'll, I can see that I've got my tab shared up here. This is the app. This is on COTI mainnet right now. There aren't a whole lot of tokens on COTI mainnet at the moment, but we have G-COTI and COTI, and you can see here's some of the developer tests. And so I thought, I might talk about, what it is that this protocol does and how it operates. So it's first and foremost a liquidity protocol, right? This is where you go to trade assets. And there is no prescribed numeraire token. So you can, you can see that we've got a price chart up here for G-COTI versus COTI. We can switch that around if you prefer to value COTI in terms of G-COTI or whatever. And the way that this protocol is developed is so that it favors price quoting. So you can determine which prices you would like to trade at, and then wait for the market to essentially take your orders exactly the same way that you would on a centralized limit order book, except that this is completely decentralized. If you want to, you can also trade spot. So for example, if you want to, swap COTI for COTI right now, apparently you can get a pretty good rate. And again, there's not a huge amount of liquidity on here right now, but then as users start to flock to the protocol, we'll be able to do some a little bit more interesting stuff. So this is the spot trading, right? This is basically your your view of all of the liquidity that's currently in the book. And if you want to see how your trade is being routed through that liquidity, you can also go through and see all of the specific user strategies that you're interacting with, and you can decide to just include the ones that you're interested in trading with, or all of them for the best possible trade output. But then let's talk about what makes Carbon DeFi special. And we have this kind of education resource called the simulator. And here is where I think the rubber really hits the road for people in terms of understanding what asymmetric liquidity is compared to things like concentrated or amplified liquidity. So let's first do a simulation using a concentrated liquidity approach. So this is how you would set your order. And for people that have used, concentrated liquidity protocols before, I think this UI is extremely refined, and I'm very proud of our app team for what they've managed to accomplish here. But generally, with a concentrated liquidity protocol, you're going to be asked to choose from a preset range of specific fee tiers that have been deployed for you. But because of the clever programming paradigm that we've used for Carbon DeFi, every user can choose effectively their own fee tier, including prohibitively large fee tiers that most protocols wouldn't even let you set. So for example, here we've got an 18% fee tier, which is essentially just measuring the spread between your first asking price and first bidding price. And what I wanted to do here was just to put in a random number of COTI tokens and then measure, how this specific strategy would have performed if we back tested it into December of last year. And so you can play with all of these parameters and run these simulations. And it will then play for you this animation. You've got a slider up here that you can use to change the time. And it's basically looking at how the price action on COTI versus COTI has been moving around, and when the market has demonstrated an appetite to trade with you at the prices that you're quoting. And you can see here, since December, a 12.9% ROI isn't so bad. Remember, this isn't an APY. This is the actual returns that you would have got had you committed to this strategy back in December. So 12% in 3 months, I don't think is anything to scoff at. But that's concentrated liquidity, and this is important for like professional market makers or projects that need to maintain a relatively large and consistent liquidity base for the tokens that they're hoping to offer to their communities. But for the more selfishly motivated traders, right, the people who don't necessarily have a commitment to maintain continuous liquidity, what you might do instead is to run a strategy where you have specifically buy low, sell high type mentality. And so if we back test that condition, where we have a look at the chart here and see that the price of COTI versus COTI has been sort of oscillating back and forth, we can ask the question, if we had set these buy ranges and sell ranges at specific points in the history, and then just let this strategy evolve over time. So this doesn't require any any additional interaction after you set it up. So again, I'm going to start with 0 COTI here and just use a similar number of COTI as before. And now you'll see that when the simulation plays out, rather than trading at all of these different price points, instead it waits for the market to reach our specific buy and sell price points. And because it waits for better trades, the ROI goes up quite significantly. So this again is over the same 3 months, so just since December. This trading strategy would have already grown by a factor of 48% measured in terms of COTI. And so that's a pretty phenomenal result. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to explore too much here because, again, we're waiting for strategies and things to show up. But you can, see how the protocol is operating even just on, these developer test strategies. So, for example, if this was a strategy that belonged to you, you can go and investigate, all of the transactions that it's actually been executed against your specific trading liquidity. You can export this to CSV, which can help with accounting and so on, and help to measure your portfolio performance over time. And I wanted to show you how the COTI token is trading on Ethereum mainnet. Because up until today there was there was no mainnet for COTI to trade on, but the COTI token has still existed on Ethereum mainnet. And so what I've done is to look for the COTI token on the ETH-L1 deployment, and you can see that someone has set up at least 3 different strategies to trade COTI versus ETH. And so again, this is giving you a very specific COTI ETH price chart, and we can play around what COTI looks like versus other strategies as well. But you can see this person has basically created a very, very tight buy wall, and then has an extensible, well spread out, sell on the other side, expecting, it seems, that the COTI price is going to rise something like 10x right before they decide to close this strategy out. So the COTI token has been trading versus ETH on our protocol on Ethereum mainnet. And if we have a look at the history here, yeah, I think all of these strategies were funded with the same amount of ETH, so 10 ETH each, which means, and this one hasn't traded yet, so it looks like they layered some of these positions so that if there was a more optimistic price point to buy COTI at, that would have been taken, but because the market never got there, that order was never filled. But that means that we've got a convenient sort of reference point, which means that these 2 trading strategies, which are only as old as, when was this started? On the 1st of March. One of them is already up, almost 25% in just this month. So it really is a very profoundly powerful, trading protocol. And I think that this buttresses well things like the COTI AI agents paradigm, because there is a lot of decision making in here, and the fact that we generate, data this way in such a thorough sort of backtesting, with such a high quality means of backtesting. This is an obvious way to generate training data sets, for example, to train these kinds of AI agents. So I really am excited to see how those products develop and get utilized by their communities. I'm really excited to meet anyone who might be interested in doing that when we meet up with the rest of the COTI community in Bangkok just next week.
Awesome, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a great demo. I know we've talked before on Spaces about some of these things, and to see it live, it's just like, wow, it really popped. So the platform looks great. Thank you so much. Just before we go quickly, did you want to wrap up anything? We're bringing in Band Protocol next.
No, just quickly. I mean it sincerely. I am so proud to have our product on COTI mainnet, and I love the COTI community so far. And so please, hit me up if you're going to be in Bangkok. I'd love to get a beer with you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Mark.
so much, Mark, and welcome to V2. Mark is always awesome and fun to talk to. And for those who are just tuning in, we are celebrating V2 going live on mainnet today with partners Bancor, Band, Crafter, PriveX, Big Money, Codex, and COTI Agents. And I'm going to welcome Shine from Band Protocol, and I'm going to hand the mic over to COTI Ship. Welcome, Band Protocol.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Thank you very much for being here and taking the time to kind of celebrate our mainnet with us. It would be great just to kick off, and if you could give us a brief introduction to yourself and of course what Band Protocol is all about, that would be great.
Sure. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Chai, the head of operation at Band Protocol. So you know that I'm super excited to be here today with the awesome team at COTI. And both Man and COTI are building critical infrastructure for the future of Web3. And it's always powerful when two foundational team come together to cooperate. And so today I would love to walk you through what we are building at Band Protocol and how we are collaborating with COTI and what's coming next, especially in the launch of our biggest upgrade yet, Band Oracle V3. So let's start with the basic. I know you guys are some of you guys are very new to Band Protocol, right? And we are a decentralized cross-chain Oracle platform. That means we have smart contract on any blockchain asset real-world data in a secure and reliable way. And think that crypto prices, FX rates, and even the data from external APIs. And yeah, so why is that important, right? Well, smart contract can talk to the outside world on their own without oracles. And the kind of stuck in the sandbox, we help bridge the gap between them. And we built our blockchain called Bandchain based on Cosmos SDK. It's fast, scalable, and tailored specifically to handle Oracle activity. But even though we are built on Cosmos, what we are not limited to Cosmos. So Band is fully cross-chain. We are already serving Oracle data to many EVM and non-EVM chains. And yes, we are already live on COTI testnet and with Mainnet support coming soon. And so whether you're building on Ethereum, BNB chain, or COTI, or Cosmos-based chain, Band Protocol is built to deliver the data you need. And yeah, so now I want to talk about something I'm personally really excited about. Our biggest upgrade yet, Band Oracle V3. And V3 is a major leap forward in terms of performance, scalability, and developer experience. And here is what's new in Band Oracle V3. And first, it's faster and cheaper. We optimize Bandchain under the hood to reduce latency and transaction costs. So the apps that rely on frequent data update like the lending protocol or the perpetual protocol can operate more efficiently. And the second, we are scaling massively. We are now support more than 1,000 live data feed that includes price data across crypto asset, wallet, commodity, and more. It's the most extensive data coverage we ever offer. And the third, interoperability is a big focus for us. And we are working closely with the top tier cross-chain messaging protocol to make sure our data can be securely relayed from Bandchain to all major ecosystem. So no matter where your smart contract lives, you can trust that the data will get there reliably. And finally, we made a huge stride in the developer experience. We are launching a brand new developer portal that make it incredibly easy to deploy a custom price feed. You will be able to do it in just a few clicks. No deep Oracle knowledge required. And why this matters for the COTI, right? And now let's talk about how this connect with the COTI. And I think as a privacy-focused L1 platform designed for decentralized payment, COTI is building infrastructure where securely accurate data is critical, especially for a thing like payment verification, token settlement, and on-chain compliance, and etc. And that where Band come in. And yes, so again, we already live on COTI testnet and the Mainnet upcoming soon, right? And we are bringing the real-time price feed to support a variety of use cases within the COTI ecosystem. And whether it's Oracle for stablecoin pricing, real-world assets tokenization, or cross-chain payment product, our job is to make sure your smart contract have trustworthy external data to rely on. And with the speed and privacy feature of the COTI combined with the reliability of Band oracles is a perfect match. Yeah. And
well, thank you so much for the overview. It's so helpful, and for a lot of our audience as well, we've had snippets of partnerships and kind of what we're doing together. It's so good to hear a more detailed version of it. So thank you for that. I guess in short, you're connecting our ecosystem to external world data, which is incredibly useful for us in an accurate and reliable way. And congratulations on V3 as well. Anything that's faster and cheaper is good in my book. So big congrats. I know we will be seeing Band shortly, and I think I'll hand over to Joshua here. But Joshua, do you want to give us a little walkthrough of Vibe Code? I know that Band and I think maybe Bancor as well will be attending that.
That's right. So C Blockchain Week is next week. That's Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. It's being held here in Bangkok. Band Protocol, obviously they're based in Thailand and based in Bangkok. So we were very excited to kind of welcome Band and Bancor to the event. I think Mark is making a much longer flight than than Shine is, but Shine, I think you're just right across the street basically. But yeah, Vibe Code with COTI will be held on April 2nd and April 3rd. It'll be part of Southeast Asia Blockchain Week. And, really what it's about is our token holder community. We haven't had a developer community in the past. It's something that we're building and something that, developers are starting to come in, like, Mark and Shine and the other teams that we've announced. But there is a tsunami, as Shahaf mentioned earlier on the call, of kind of what we call developer creators or creator developers. You can call them prompt engineers, creator developers, or the new term that has just come out recently, are vibe coders. And these are people who maybe don't have traditional technical backgrounds. Maybe they've never written a piece of code in their life, and suddenly they're enabled with new AI superpowers. And those superpowers are growing at an exponential rate. Anybody who's been playing with the AI coding tools over the past, kind of year and a half, 2 years, you will have felt the pace of change for how competent some of these tools are getting. And I think after kind of, the madness of getting Mainnet out and our community going through this long haul 2 years with this, Vibe Code is really an answer to two things. One is, how do we open up the gates for more of the COTI community to participate in the ecosystem in meaningful ways, to not only be kind of like people who are participating with dApps, but how do they start to kind of own increasing pieces of the ecosystem? And we can get into that later. But it's also, how do we start opening up the doors for people who in the past have kind of been relegated to the sidelines, and maybe they're just more passive participants. So this is going to be our first exploration into just a relaxed, and I'm going to warn, it's going to be very relaxed. It's not a hackathon, but it'll be an invitation for the entire COTI community, whether you are going to do it remotely, and for those who can make it to C Blockchain Week. And we will have some surprises happening there for people who can make it to C Blockchain Week. I think we've already given that away. We will be flying out a lot of the COTI ambassadors and the COTI community who has, been really down in the trenches in our communities, answering questions and really powering through with COTI over the next 2 years. So partly it's a thank you to the community. Partly it's a big sigh after Mainnet launch for get all of our community and team together to sit back and build with partners in a way that is just not too stressful. So we've rented an amazing kind of relaxed location. We will have a bunch of partners joining us live on location, all helping people to kind of build and get unstuck. And we will have a series of live streams from the event as well that I think our that Tracer will be helping to support us with. So anyways, watch out for the links. Again, you'll be able to participate live, or you'll be able to participate whether you're going to be in person or not. If you do have the link, please go and register. It's going to be across 2 days, so you can register for just one day, or you can participate in both days. And just a big shout out to Bancor, Band, Codex, COTI Agents, Crafter, Chains Atlas, and a range of other partners who will be joining us live at the event.
Amazing. Yeah, I love to see no code solution starting to take off. It really brings entrepreneurship to everybody on the blockchain, rather than just those that have the the background that we need. So really looking forward to Vibe Code with COTI. And Band, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited for you to be giving us accurate and reliable price feeds. For some of the audience who may not understand it, if we have I don't know, if we have RWA applications, or if we have perhaps some DeFi like loaning applications, we'll need to retrieve price feeds in a very accurate and reliable way. Perhaps we need to prove of reserves from external real world applications as well. So without Band, that becomes very difficult. So we're very excited to have Band, and thank you very much for coming on, Shine. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So to wrap up everything, so I just want to say a big thank to the COTI team for hosting this live stream and being such a great collaborator. And congratulations about your COTI V2 again. Yeah, and it's gonna be huge, and we are looking forward to support you guys. And yes, to everyone watching, if you are building a DApp and needs Oracle price feed, we would love to support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shane.
Okay, Tracer,
Awesome,
over
Shine.
to you.
Thank you thank you, Shine, so much for being here, and everybody from Band Protocol. Welcome to COTI V2. And for anybody who's just tuning in, we are live for the COTI V2, long awaited, 2 years in development, as Shahaf said. COTI V2 mainnet launch. And we're here with partners Bancor, Band, Crafter, PriveX, Big Money, Codex, and COTI Agents. And my buddy from Crafter is next. And stay tuned, guys, because there are more airdrops on the way. Let's bring Yan from Crafter up. How's it going, Yan?
Hello everyone, thank you for having me, and congratulations to the whole COTI team for this tremendous work. I'm super happy to be there and share this day with you guys.
Awesome. So I've got to ask you, Yan, I know we're going to do a screen share in a minute, but I'm going to throw your QR code up because I know a lot of people are waiting to see more of these airdrops. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about this before we get going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the main idea was to celebrate this day with all the community. So Crafter built an NFT, and that will be airdropped. So make sure to scan this QR code, and you'll get it eventually. Maybe not today, but in the coming days or coming weeks. And to be honest, and with my perspective, I feel like this NFT is super cool. So I can't wait for you guys to see it.
So before we bring up your screen share, because we want to have your QR code showing for a bit, could you tell us about how you incorporated privacy with COTI and why it's important?
Well, obviously, privacy is super important because our philosophy with Crafter is to make sure that everyone can be able to build their ideas on the COTI ecosystem, and we want the developers' requirements to not be requirements anymore. So the idea mainly is to build a no-code solution, allowing everyone to build a smart contract on COTI without any technical skills. So the idea is to have everyone participate into this great ecosystem that we truly believe in. And with that being said, privacy should be the same content. So if you're able to build your smart contract, you should be able to decide which property or which data should be public or private. So this is why privacy is super important also for Crafter. So just to clarify, Crafter propose a various amount of modules that are predefined to output a given smart contract. So we are going to be live today and those models are NFTs related, but the long-term idea of Crafter is to build any type of smart contract. So privacy will be a very core subject on Crafter.
So I'll give you a minute to get your screen share ready. And again,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Joshua in, as I know you guys talked a lot about grants and stuff. So Joshua, I'm sure you have things to say and congratulate Crafter on being.
Absolutely. Look, I think, a healthy ecosystem is when you start to see projects that are spinning up from the people who actually have supported the project for a long time. And, when you're doing business development, there's kind of, two parts. You're bringing in people who are from outside of the ecosystem who have something to offer to the ecosystem. But it's always, I think, very exciting when you see people in the ecosystem actually building and serving needs. So I think some of the community members tagged me in Telegram one day. So there's a really great community member who's building a project and, learning to use COTI, learning to build on COTI. And I think I can safely say it, like banging his head up against COTI's docs back when the very first V1 of COTI docs were out there and trying to figure out how to build. And Yan showed persistence, and he kept pushing through and kept asking questions. And I think then it finally applied for the COTI Builders program, and it was a natural fit. And we talked, and one of the stipulations was we wanted to see a novel use of COTI's privacy features. And Yan said, "Let me think about that," and went back to the docs and came back with a plan. And it was just exactly how you want to see someone progress through the Builders program. And it's exactly what the Builders program is for. So I don't know. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about those conversations, Yan, but.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for the bit of the storytelling around Crafter, obviously we are community members with a friend, which is also a coworker, and we have been in the community for a few years now. So obviously on the V1, we were only limited to participate into the testnet environments with having testnet nodes. So it was it, and it was the only solution we could use our technical skills to participate into the ecosystem, apart being just the community members. So obviously when the COTI V2 was announced and we understood that we would be able to participate building stuff and deploying smart contracts, I immediately contacted my friend and developer to start building Crafter. And as we start building Crafter, our idea and philosophy around this project evolved, and we figured that we could do much bigger than only NFT related subjects. So we love the journey so far, and we're super excited for the coming months and years. So yeah. So
Yeah, I just also want to just shout out and say I thought it was amazing that from the start when we talked to you, you wanted to ensure that other COTI community members were able to spin things up in the community. I know you had talked about your journey going from Web 2 into Web 3, and then not only Web 3 but Web 3 privacy, and to kind of pay that back and to make sure that other community members can be active and build their own ideas out. Is just very exciting for all of us, I think.
yeah, we're super excited too.
I just gotta jump in really quick, Yan. I just gotta jump in really quick, Yan. I can't see your screen share yet, so
Yeah,
maybe
I
look at
didn't
that
launch it
again
yet.
so I can bring yours up.
No,
Okay,
it
cool.
should be
Whenever you're
available.
ready.
But yeah, just to finish on that, what did I say? Yeah, right now our modules are predefined, but we have super high-end modules in our thoughts, which is super generic. So basically, we won't have to define the user's inputs to predefine the output of the smart contract. So this is super excited to build that, and it's coming eventually. So yeah, for my presentation. So here's the landing page. We can start by seeing the dashboard, which I feel is super cool. You can see various information with some cards telling you the draft contract that you're currently building, the contract that you may have deployed, the total contract. So as you can see, we got the connected wallets. Basically, it helps to just facilitate your journey on Crafter. You can add your friends and have their wallet address defined, and you can obviously create groups to just make some batch transaction with those groups. You can check your deploy contract. So as you can see, you got some various informations, which modules those contracts are from. So basically, what I'm showing you right now is from testnet, but Crafter will be live today. So yeah, as you can see, you got some agents. Basically, with Crafter, you can lock to a given time the minting function, so the smart contract is being deployed, but you can't interact with it until a given time. So basically, we can see that this collection will be available to mint in 42 minutes. It's on testnet, obviously. And you got your draft contracts here, which you can see the modules and yeah. The modules, you got two modules right now, the single NFT, which allows you to just provide an asset and a name and a description, and you can select your recipient. It can be your wallet address or your friends. And you can define threads, so it's basically just the metadata of your NFTs. Encourage everyone using Crafter. There's this help button, which is a tutorial for each module. So you just have to follow the instruction and understand how you can manipulate those modules, and everything should be fine. So you got progress status on the right side telling you if we correctly received your information, if everything is valid, and the upload on IPFS and deployment of smart contracts. So obviously, when you have your wallet connected, you sign the transaction. It means that you deploy your smart contract and you are the owner of the smart contract. So as a philosophy of decentralized, Crafter is not owner of the output smart contract. And as you can see, this is the single NFT, but we got the collection ready, which basically means that you have worked with the designer or you did it yourself, but you got the whole NFTs and metadatas for your collection. Once again, you got the tutorial explaining everything you need to know for using this module. So here, there's a deployment date, which is basically the date where minting is available. And voila.
So yeah, and I know we had a conversation last night leading up to this, and I don't know if you said anything about this yet, but when we talked about pricing, kind of blew my mind how cheap it was. Are you ready to release any of that or kind of tease it at all right now before?
Well, yeah, there is a pricing related to using our models, but obviously the price is not high, and it's basically to invest into the community. We are preparing some collection related to Crafter. We want to make some airdrops, just like the one which is related to this celebration. And yeah, that's about it.
So before we move on, we have COTI Agents coming up next. Is there anything you wanted to wrap up before we move on? But I'm so proud of you, man. You did it. Like, this is awesome. The interfaces look wild, man. And I'm so glad you and Joshua made it happen. It's really exciting stuff for community members to watch one of us, end up being part of all this.
Trace, I just want to say one thing, though. You said me and Yan made it possible. What a lot of people don't know is behind the scenes, Tracer is always connecting people from the community to other people and cheering them on and cheerleading them. So you are as much as part of this as anyone else. And, I think you're the one that made the connections and said, like, you really got to talk to these guys. So, pat yourself on the back too, quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, it might be part of me threatening an absolute revolution if he didn't get the grant, right? So maybe I scared you a little bit, but yeah, No, man, I've been behind you the whole time, Yan, and you came up through the community podcast and stuff, and it was great talking to you in the middle of the night. I don't know how many Big Macs you ate while we were talking on community podcasts and initiatives. So it's just so cool to see you here, man.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you have been a great support for this whole journey, definitely. And to wrap this up, I should recommend everyone to follow Crafter X account, which is Crafter dash bottom app on X, and just follow because we should tweet about the release of Crafter today, and we will tweet about our roadmaps and development updates. So stay tuned.
Awesome, Yan. Thank you for being here. Congratulations. I know it's been a lot of late nights, so hopefully you get to pop some champagne and sleep later. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
For those of you who are tuning in, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are celebrating the mainnet launch live on V2. And what we'd really love from you guys is to help us out by sharing our live space. Whether you're watching live with us now or watching later, please share on your socials. You could throw a hashtag up there, but let's celebrate V2 and get the word out. Our next guest, I'm going to bring him up, is from COTI Agents, and I am going to pass this one off to COTI Ship. Well,
yeah, first off, welcome, Lan. Great to have you.
Hello, Ship. Hello, everyone. My pleasure to be here. So excited.
We're very excited to have you. I think most people are very familiar with COTI Agents. You've really had a massive launch. I know you've got a really big following from the COTI community already, and so many people are excited about what you're doing, particularly with regard to agents, of course. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, and could you also just give us an overview of what COTI Agents is all about?
Sure. First of all, I would like to give a big congratulations to COTI Mainnet launch. And I want to let you know that our team is so excited to celebrate this milestone with COTI and COTI community. And as you said, we consider launching on December is a favor because we receive so much support from all the partners, including COTI and COTI community. And I'm Lan, an entrepreneur from Saigon, Vietnam, and I have been building since 2007 when the mobile era began to boom. And right now I'm running a software company, an R&D lab, and an education center that provides free practical training for ICT students in Vietnam. And COTI Agents is a product from our R&D lab built by our engineers and also interns. They're working together to build this product. And COTI Agents, we are positioning it as a DeFi hub, DeFi and AI, where the user who join us, they can experience DeFi with the help of AI so that they can simplify the blockchain operation, which are very complex. I mean, for newbie, and some key experiences for the user I can list out is they can chat to discover insights and also market signals, and they can chat to execute blockchain operation. And in the future, we are integrating with account abstraction and also a indicator platform, and we want to let user to chat to execute orders, and they can also perform transaction using our automated strategies powered by AI. And the key features right now we are providing, we have an AI assistant. You can find it at launch.cotiagent.ai. This AI assistant, it is an in-house trained LLM using WAN 2.5 from Alibaba, and it is deployed on our own Google Cloud private server. And we also have smart 4-byte routing with popular public model such as GPT-04, DeepSeek, and Gemini. And we also provide a full backend infrastructure, including API, streaming, and database. That's why you can see that the AI agent on our platform is working quite smooth comparing to similar platform. And the second feature, which is a token launch platform, right now it is live on Base and COTI testnet. And in the meantime, I mean, when this live stream happen, our team is working on the background to convert it to COTI Mainnet, and we hope that within like 2 to 3 days we can make it go live. We need to talk to Carbon DeFi from Bancor so that we can integrate with them, and I'm so excited to meet them in Bangkok on April. And the last one is the DeFi portfolio dashboard, which we released just today, live on COTI testnet. And I think tomorrow or the day after, it will be live on COTI mainnet. Basically, with this portfolio, we allow the user to manage their assets. They can deploy and also mint ERC tokens. They can also deploy and mint privacy ERC20 tokens. And they can deploy and mint NFTs. So we want to simplify the user experience. Right now, if they want to interact with COTI privacy, they need to find a special wallet, or they need to work with MetaMask Snap. Then we think that is for like more advanced user, and we decide to bring those experience to the app, so that user they will need to install like an extra extension. They just use what they are familiar with. They can use MetaMask, they can use OKX wallet, they can use Trust wallet, and they can connect to our portfolio. They can interact with the COTI privacy token. They can see the balance, and they can send and receive. Yeah, so I think that pretty much about COTI agents up to date. And in the future, sure, in the future we want to integrate, like I said, embedded wallet account abstraction, provide seamless experience for the new way of the user, not the OG, and they can enjoy blockchain journey just like how they're enjoying with Web 2.
Fantastic. It's such an exciting project, and one that's really like on the frontier of innovation. I think it's great to see you doing new things, particularly around agents. I know the community is super excited about all things pertaining to COTI agents, so congratulations. I will just ask one question on privacy, as it's all around the COTI mainnet. So when it comes to privacy, what makes privacy so important to COTI agents and Co-AI?
I think we look at privacy like an innovation, and when we see a new innovation, we will try to find a use case to make it like relevant and applicable to real life. Because our goal when we set up our lab is that we do research on the latest technology, and from that we try to build relevant application. And right now, from the existing technology of COTI privacy, we can bring a simple feature like our dashboard allow user to manage privacy token on the app. And we are working on a cool idea like we can create a DAO where community can vote, but the voting power and who vote for whom will be like how can I say, censor to protect the privacy.
Yeah, absolutely. In the same way that modern day voting and governance systems are kind of in Web 2 also, they require privacy. So that makes absolute sense. I know we've got Mary from Big Money here as well. I'm very excited to talk to you, Mary. Lan, as we kind of depart here, do you have any final messages or anything you'd like to say to the community before we kind of transition and talk to Big Money Saga as well?
Yeah.
All right.
Tell us about your airdrop for sure. Tell us about your airdrop, because that's what people want to hear about, right?
Sure. For sure, who are listening to this stream will receive an airdrop, and we will conduct the airdrop like properly via our D app. And I think when we release our portfolio D app on the mainnet, we will like embed that feature, airdrop feature.
Fantastic. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us, Lan, and thank you so much as well for helping us to accelerate the growth of the COTI ecosystem and playing such a pivotal role. It's great to have you here, and I'm privileged to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to build, and for builder and user who are listening to this, watching this stream. If you want to experience AI and new technology on COTI, come to see it, come to try us, and you can meet us in Bangkok, C Blockchain Week. We have a booth there, and we have our engineers there to help you experience AI agent and COTI technology there.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And I just got to say really quickly, with all these airdrops and QR codes, guys, you got to be really careful with the addresses that you're sharing, because we cannot be responsible if you guys make a mistake on those forms. So please double check that. And without further ado, we have Mary here, and Ship, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Of course. Welcome, Mary. Great to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. Yep, super excited to be here today with you guys. First, I'm Mary. I'm representing Big Money, and I'm a BD lead at Big Money.
Fantastic. Well, look, it's great to have you here. Well, as we've done so far, would you mind giving a quick, brief introduction on yourself and also on Big Money and what it's all about? I know a little bit about this project, and it's one that I think I can get addicted to quite quickly. So, looking forward to the overview.
Yeah, sure. Some of you might wondering what is Big Money? So it's basically Big Money is a kind of GameFi we build on COTI network. It's a game that you can play to earn, and currently we are building it with offer multiple ways for users to earn rewards, such as play COTI Crush, predict COTI price, and mining proof of work. We just have finished the season 1 with massive, very great numbers, a lot of participants, and also have many mining transactions on COTI network, nearly 10%. And it's easy to play and let user earn crypto rewards, and it's perfect for both casual gamers and also crypto enthusiasts. And we also run seasonal competitions where top players on the leaderboard can win real rewards. And recently, we just wrapped up our first season on testnet, and the result is very incredible. So at this point, we are planning to push Big Money from testnet to mainnet, which means that user can earn BitM, the Big Money token on mainnet, and bringing the real benefits to and real values to the communities. And also something I want to give you guys a sneak peek that we are going to build more mini games, expand our mini game lineup, not just predict COTI price or playing COTI Crush, but we also add some new game into our Big Money, so you guys have more ways to earn. And once again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and also congratulations on this amazing milestone.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the overview of Big Money as well. Like I said, this is a game I can imagine myself playing, when I really shouldn't be playing for hours on end. So yeah, this is great. And there's so many interesting ways to earn as you play. I know with the proof of work mining, and then you also have the predictive markets as well. So it's it's a really, really, really exciting take. And again, just want to say thank you for being here. Joshua, I don't know if you've got anything to add on Big Money, but I'll give you the floor if you have a question or you have a couple of things to say about it.
No, I just want to say it was Lan, who wasn't in the room as well. We kind of met their entire broader team while we were in Vietnam a couple of weeks ago, visiting Ho Chi Minh and the Codex team. And, just really grateful to have them in the COTI ecosystem and the products that they bring to bear. And I think there's going to be a long-term relationship that we see with kind of their entire ecosystem that exists in Ho Chi Minh. So.
Amazing. And just before I let you go, Mary, it would be great if you could just explain the Big Money drop and also just what the Genesis miner badge whitelist spot is as well.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks for your introduce and your kind words. So today, to celebrate the mainnet of COTI, we have some NFT airdrop. As the season 1 just ended, we have reward users with the Genesis miner badge as our NFT for completing the season 1. And also this is opportunity for you guys. If you haven't joined our Gamsi quest, you can scan the QR code and you're gonna be on the whitelist to free mint this NFT. And as soon as Big Money go mainnet, we're going to host a minting event so that everyone, if you guys are in the whitelist, you can free mint this NFT. And about the utility of this NFT, the season 2 is coming soon, so yeah, it will unlock exclusive benefit in the season 2, and we will be revealing this soon.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for everything on Big Money Saga. Thank you for being part of today. It's a really special day for us and we appreciate it. With that, I'm going to hand it back to Tracer, who's going to take us onwards.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome to COTI V2. Thanks, Ship. We have Barack in the room. If you could unmute your mic and say hi. I don't know if you maybe fell asleep. You've been in the room for a really long time there. But if we don't hear from you soon, I'm just going to move to Daniel because he might have fallen asleep too. No, just kidding. I see you there, buddy. How are you, Daniel?
Oh, doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
So while we wait for Barack and Codex, please tell me, I think everybody's looking forward to, like Shahaf says, right? The Genesis block and Mainnet going live today. It's really just the beginning. So even though we've been waiting for this for 2 years, now the real party starts. So tell us what's next for Code.
Yeah, so we have, as you can imagine, quite a large roadmap for developer support. I think that a decidedly different thing on COTI V2 and the community is that we are adding a lot of builders to the community. So it's less so around the treasury and the token. While that is still a big part of it, I would hope a larger part of it is going to be builder community. So developers, protocol developers, dApp developers, like the folks that we were just chatting with. So building in the blockchain space has been going on for a while now, and there are a ton of very sophisticated tools that basically make that journey a lot easier, a lot simpler. So all of these orthogonal services need to be added basically quickly to the network. So tools like Man Protocol, let's say Oracles is a big one. Just like that, we want to make sure that developers have kind of cutting edge, powerful developer tooling to build with COTI. So, if you build with tools like Hardhat or with Foundry, that in networks, you need to have a lot of examples. You need to have plugins. You need to have like all of these supporting systems to make building kind of a lot more smooth. So that's, I think, what we're going to focus on immediately after launch. And yes, basically for anything that builders require, we want to make sure that we have a checkbox for. Of course, we'll start with the main things, like the ones that we have already launched, and then having support for popular frameworks and popular patterns. It's what's going to be next for us. And then yes, of course, we have a plan, but based on the things that are built and the things that take off and the things that are popular, that plan, of course, will need to change and adjust. But I think that for the short term, we're going to have a very heavy focus on developers. So everybody that is building on the COTI network will be kind of at the front of our site.
Awesome. And I'll pass it off to Joshua. I'm sure you're chomping at the bit.
Oh, thank you. It's no, I think it's exactly what Daniel said. I don't really have too much to add to it. It's it's going to be being deeply involved with the builders who are building out, understanding what their pain points are, what their needs are, and helping them to sort of navigate those paths, get the tooling. I think there's also like a whole another work stream where now that Mainnet is live, people who have kind of been telling us wait until Mainnet, that we start to reactivate those conversations that we've been having over the past 12 months. And as we have our ambassador program that is spun up under Brad's and Vlad's leadership in the background, we start to bring a lot more minds to bear, and also a lot more people who can go out and have these conversations with leads who are coming in to start to fill out the ecosystem. And then finally, there's now that DEXs are coming on and people can start to transact. Now we have this kind of like long road work to do in terms of getting liquidity in and making sure that that the DEXs move on to things like lending, and that lending moves on to next gen use cases like RWA, and RWA moves on to stable coins. Right, there's that whole kind of like domino path that we have to begin to work on. But it just means the fun work actually begins now, and the work that we're doing with the engineers and the developer tooling and all these paths that we have to kind of chase down, we get to see those kind of happen live on Mainnet, and people really be able to see the work that's being done behind the scenes rather than just logos going up every couple of weeks.
It's funny, you dropped a little Easter egg in there and I caught it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to bring us into something here. But a couple years ago, I met a guy on a community podcast. He was driving. I didn't have the greatest reception, but we started talking, and right away, like, this guy was special. You know what I mean? And like, he's become a very, very good friend. And you guys all know him as Cody Ship, but you said a name there that I don't think anybody knows yet. So I just want to say, welcome, Brad, to the core team. That hasn't been mentioned yet. And Joshua, I'm going to hand it off to you, but this is pretty huge. And I was hoping we got to throw this in.
All right. Yeah, we were, I think, very lucky as a community, even long before I arrived in the COTI community, but as a community to have Ship, Brad as part of the community. I think from the first week that I onboarded and I started meeting yourself, Tracer, and other people in the COTI community, Brad was one of the first voices there, and he, stepped up, took on work, took on responsibility, and was just incredibly supportive of not only the project as a whole, but also was a loud voice when we were doing things right, and also when we were doing things wrong. And it's important to have community members that do both, not just cheer on the project, but also nudge the project. And I want to be very clear, nudge the project in constructive and positive ways. and Brad was really, good at doing that. I don't want to give away everything because we will be announcing quite a bit from the next COTI Connect, which I've promised on multiple occasions. This is not COTI Connect, by the way, so still living up to my promise. But Brad, we offered Brad to come join the COTI core team to help take on business development management. I'll let Brad talk about his own background, but he has a very storied, extensive background, very professional background, and it really fit in line with the next stage of development, not only for what we need to do in the business development and with the ambassador program, but also the things that we're going to be announcing soon on how we start to think about the COTI community and how we grow projects in the ecosystem and how we think about the individuals who have given themselves to the COTI ecosystem. So with that, maybe I'll pass it over to you, Brad, and let you, now that you're fully doxed, and talk a bit about your background and your journey to getting here.
I can't believe after 3 years I didn't get to dox myself. No, look, I'm so privileged to be here, and I'm very conscious this is a show about Mainnet and not about me, so I'm going to make this brief. But yeah, I can give you some of my background. You can probably tell from the accent that I'm based in the UK, and I previously worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers, a big accountancy and consultancy firm globally, and kind of worked there in a transformational consulting capacity across financial sectors, healthcare sectors, retail sectors on a international scale for a number of years, which was a really great opportunity. And then moved to Adobe, where I kind of helped to lead global strategic business. Adobe, obviously a big company with a huge sales field, and ultimately my job was to make them better and better every year, either through sales operations, business development operations, through coaching and sales process, and much, much more that I won't bore you with. But throughout all of that, of course, I've been a community member of COTI. I've always had an affinity with COTI, and when the opportunity was given to me, I obviously bit Joshua's hand off. So I'm incredibly happy to be here. And I think one of the best things about this as well is Tracer actually bringing it to the table. We did a lot of community podcasts a long time ago. Yeah, it's a great announcement. So yeah, that's it. But great to be Brad. I will still be COTI Ship, but it's good to be Brad and COTI Ship.
I think we're going to be hearing a lot about full circle moments, and this was one of them for me, man. But I meant what I said, man. Like, as soon as you started talking, I knew you were special. Every time you came to a podcast, I would sit and listen, and when I'd re-listen and edit, I was just like, man, this guy is like an absolute threat. So I'm so proud of you, man, and that's so very exciting. And this kind of segues pretty well into the last closing segment here. But before we go to that, I just want to say, like, Daniel, you've been here for a really, really long time, and you haven't had much time to talk. So before we move into our closing segments here, is there anything else you would like to add on?
Yes, I think that the greatest gift and the greatest ask that I would do of the community, it's to kick the tires, get out there and build, use the network, use the faucets, use the SDKs, use all of the things that we've created and published, and connect with us on Discord, connect with us anywhere you'd like, and provide us with that feedback. We want to make sure that we are creating a great experience for you. And yeah, that's what I would ask of the community. And of course, we're always glad to chat. So even if you have non-builder related questions of all the things that we put out there today and in the months preceding, we'll be glad to hear that feedback.
It's funny, you kind of echo what Guy would say, but when Guy comes on the community initiative podcast and streams, he says the same thing. Like, we want the feedback. We want you guys to break things. We want to hear about it. So don't be scared to reach out. And he said something from his perspective too, and being the person that's kind of funny, but where else can you find a protocol like this where everybody is so accessible? And it really is true. If you go into the official Telegram, you will probably get linked up with somebody in the core team that you're looking for, right? So it is very special. So thank you, Daniel, for being here the whole time. And ever since you came, man, I have been so excited about everything you guys are doing. Like you and Joshua, man, like you guys are awesome. Huge acquisitions for the team. And it's been so much fun watching the changes over the last, I know you guys have been here for about a year, but ever since V2 got announced and you guys came on the scene, Freya came on the scene, it's new blood. It's very, very exciting. And we're so excited for what's next. And I'm going to segue that into Joshua's got something to talk about here and tell us how this party is going to continue.
Yeah, so we don't want Mainnet to launch and, like I said, not continue the party. So we've already, dropped that next week we'll be in Bangkok, but it's to start. And I want to caution it. It's not going to be this massive thing, but we've been given the opportunity to like really focus deeply on the community that exists with COTI, and all credit to Shahaf and Efrat and the management and leadership team behind COTI. When we sit down and we started talking about strategy going into 2025, what's coming down the pipeline as AI begins to consume most of development work and begins to consume most of mind share. What does that mean for humans? What does that mean for the COTI community? And more importantly, what does that mean for COTI token holders going forward? And how do we, really make good the promises that have been made to everyone and expand the COTI ecosystem at speed? And I think one of the things that we landed on is that it has to start with the people who have been championing us for the past years. And when you look around the COTI community, you have people like Ship, like yourself, Tracer, Soren and Stefan, and so many other people, Jordy, Firefly, all these other people who are involved in the community. I know I'm missing a lot of people out. I'm talking about the people that I am in a meeting with, once every 2 weeks, and there's so many more out there. But it's a rare thing that people stick with a project for 4 or 5 years. I mean, blockchain's only been around for however long, but you've got people in the COTI community that have stuck with us for 4 or 5 years. So the next phase of COTI's evolution in terms of how we think about community, the ABC fund, how we deploy grants, how we deploy capital, how we invite people to build with us, how we ensure that developer relations and ecosystem management, all these things happen in a cohesive and I would say forward-looking way. It starts with inviting everyone who's been, really building with us into Bangkok. So Tracer, I think you'll be there. Brad will be there, and be a lot of other COTI community members. And it's really a 2-day. We talked about the vibe coding session, but really what it is, it's to kick off with community what's coming down the pipe in 2025. And we'll talk a lot more about it from the live streams that will happen at the Bangkok event. But we are not only having the old guard of COTI community, but also the new members of the COTI community, and we have to have those. So we're having these partners who have joined us from all over Southeast Asia, who are going to be more a part of our builders. And I see you see talent, one of our COTI community members, Django, Django will actually be there. But yeah, it's a thank you to the COTI community and a step forward alongside the COTI community, and a recommitment that as we grow the ecosystem, you will be part of it. As we think about what the future of COTI looks like, you will be the ones who are earning and benefiting from that ecosystem that you've championed for 4, 3, 2, however many years that you've been with COTI. So we're kicking off vibe coding with COTI, but it's really a celebration of what's next, and we will start to reveal more and more of the initiatives that we've been hinting towards for the past kind of like 6 weeks-ish now, I guess.
Yeah, love the community shout outs there. You know, Jordy, Fireflight, Ship, Unity, Stefanos, Mila. Like we could go on and on. Vlad and Prince, and I mean Freya, Nat, let's go, right? But yeah, it is really excited to see this new ethos, or I guess expanded ethos of bringing in the community and making them really part of the project. Before we go, Ship, or Brad, or BJ, as I like to call him now, if you know, you know. Before we kick this off, I'm going to give you a chance to say some closing words.
I mean, I think we've covered a lot today, and certainly nothing new to add. But I mean, this event is fantastic, but today is just absolutely incredible. You know, from my perspective, I'm very privileged to be here and be part of the show and kind of co-host it with you. But it's 2 years of, like I said, hard work, dedication, grit amongst all of the COTI team members for so long. And it's also an enormous amount of loyalty, patience to a degree, and a lot of energy in championing and kind of pushing and scaling COTI from the community. So from all ends, you know, it's been a huge effort. I'm very happy that we're here, and I'm very happy that the community, the team, everybody gets to celebrate together. It's a good day.
As Soren has been saying on COTI Confidential, and Shahaf said in his video, this is just the very beginning. I want to thank you. I want to thank PriveX, Bancor, Bandcrafter, COTI Agents, and Big Money for being here with us today. Joshua and Daniel, always a pleasure. This is just the beginning. We're here, and it's very exciting. And stay tuned, because like Joshua said, the party continues. And thank you everybody for taking time out of your day to be with us from coast to coast and around the world. We are here. Stay COTI, and I'm going to play you out with Shahaf's mainnet launch video one more time.
And just like that, it's official. COTI V2 mainnet is now live. We are ready to deliver scalable, privacy on demand for real-world Web3 adoption and unlock trillions of dollars in assets in the process. Congratulations to my team for 2 years of hard work, and to all of you, our community, our loyal supporters who've been with us throughout the years. This is a huge deal, not just for COTI, but for Web3 privacy. It's not just about the individual use cases like confidential DeFi, payments, real-world assets, AI, and so forth. It's more fundamental than that. It's about handing people their right to privacy while unlocking Web3 full potential. It is as big as that. You know, I speak with a lot of leaders in the space, and there's a deep understanding that privacy on a public blockchain is inevitable. It's so clear that without it, we won't have on-chain businesses, and our information will not be kept secret. This is why it's inevitable, and this is why we are inevitable. With the release of our powerful mainnet, we are all in the right place at the right time to capture all of this potential. Over the coming weeks, expect to see the COTI network come alive, with transactions volume, dApps deploying, and builders starting to create the next generation of confidential Web3 experiences. Rome wasn't built in a day, and today is just the beginning. This is what you can see right now. The bridge is live. The Explorer is live, and you can take a look at the network. We've also got an airdrop in progress to support the new network from day one, so you can join it right now. What we've launched today is infrastructure. What's coming next is the application layer. So you can expect utility and momentum to continue to grow as of today. We have over 40 integrations in process, which includes Bancor, Band, MyEtherWallet, PriveX, just to name a few. We have a new V2 treasury coming in the coming weeks. We have node licenses that will be available soon, and improved access to the COTI V2 token, and discussions with third party already underway, and I do mean exchanges. Thank you for taking part in this journey with us. You are the lifeblood of COTI, and we look forward to having you with us in this next exciting era of COTI. Stay COTI.